Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and we are back with more reactions for The Walking Dead. This time on to episode number 2 of season 11. This is part 2 of the two-parter that the final season has premiered with, and part 1 was a banger. Part 1 was an absolute banger. Very intense, very dramatic, and very, very kind of tense, as intense and tense and very, very tension-filled. But we had two. I think we definitely had like two different kind of team kind of things going on, like two different kind of settings and two different groups and two different kind of sub stories kind of going on. So I think the first one was we had Maggie leading a mixture of the kind of remainder of the Hilltop and Alexandria groups um, with her own group. Fuck, what's it called? I think I actually had the name written down. I had the name written down. The name of her group, the the Meridian group too. So like the kind of remainder of them, the Meridian's best fighters too. And then with Negan had joined them, and they were very reluctant to have him on board. Pretty much everyone was reluctant to have him on board, but Negan was with them, being the kind of human GPS for them. Then we had Daryl, obviously Daryl and Dog. Daryl and Dog had joined them, and I think Cat. I'm pretty sure. Well, I think Carol was with them, right? I'm pretty sure Carol was with them. Pretty sure Carol was with them. And then yeah, Maggie, and then we had like the majority of them being like Maggie's Meridian people who need to go back home and help her get the stuff back from the Reapers and everything. So we have them, and then on that side we had some drama, we had some tension, and like Negan's like kind of supposedly fighting back, or like kind of almost like mutinying against Maggie and actually opposing her rule, and then like knowing that she was only actually or at least like claiming that she was actually only pushing the team further and further into into the point of no return and into like a fight that they couldn't possibly handle and everything. And then even knowing that with him, if he died, like not only would she not care if he died, but none of them would actually try and save him. None of them would actually try and make sure that he actually made it to the end of it. And he didn't want to just kind of be like in his words, he didn't want to be dragged through the slime and the filth and everything, only to be put down in the end like a dog. And then he did mention Glenn too, which got him a solid right hook to the face from Daryl. So that happened, and then and then he proved it by the end. He proved his own kind of values and his own he proved just how changed of a man he was at the very end when he did leave Maggie to die. Maggie was hanging off the edge of the train at the danger of being caught by the Horde, and then he had a chance to help her up again, but then no. And I've seen, since that episode, I've seen people kind of taking different sides of people kind of logically being like, well, this isn't really going to help his case. He's not really going to be seen in any stronger of a light by the rest of the group if it's revealed that he did indeed actually leave Maggie to die. But then also people being like, well, it's on Maggie and Daryl and the rest of the group for not actually giving him a chance, and then actually kind of like leading him to believe that he's expendable, or that he's worthless because of past events and everything. But I guess we will just have to wait and see, because she has to survive it. She definitely has to survive it. I think for one thing, I definitely can't see them killing her off like that. But then also, like, if they do kill her off, then it's just going to be the worst possible kind of quality-wise ending, or the beginning even, to season 11 that we could possibly get. So killing her off because she doesn't get saved by Negan is it's not what she deserves at all if she's going to go out, which I hope she doesn't. But yeah, I think it's definitely gonna push further to like lift up and draw up even more tension between her and Negan, and actually like try and like add in more kind of obvious kind of drama between them, being like, he's gonna throw the whole argument the whole argument back in her face, like, well, if the shoes were switched, you said it yourself, you're not the same woman you were when you left 6 years ago, so you have no reason to save me, so I'm not gonna waste my energy. I'm not going to waste my time putting energy into someone who's not going to give the same thing back to me. So, I think in this case, it's important to realize that, Negan took something very, very personal from Maggie, so she has every right to try and be, to actually be this way towards him. And, the only people he's been lucky enough to even show some semblance of growth with and in front of is Daryl and Karen, and pretty much anyone who's not Meridian. The Meridians only know, granted, like the Meridian people only know Maggie's story, so then to them Negan is by default just like an arsehole and a murderer and everything. But then with Carol and Maggie, with Carol and Daryl even, and I think even with Alden too. Alden was there too, and those people, like they've been lucky enough to actually see him kind of pretty much working with them to help destroy the Whisperers and to help kind of save them from that, even if he did kind of side with them under Carol's orders and everything. So I think truth be told, I think Negan does need to kind of be more aware of that too. Like not everyone has actually seen him trying to be good, trying to be civil, trying to be anything else. But then even then, like you can't change the past, and I think truth be told, he can't change the past. But then knowing Negan, I can't help. I don't really think he would go back and change. I mean, he wouldn't go back and change that because he feels guilty, but he would go back and change that if it means that he would be in less danger of death now. So I think because of that, he's a very, very shady character. Like he is pretty much the epitome of a grey area character in that sense. So it's a very tricky kind of topic to stumble across. But I think, but I mean, depending on who you trust and who you like and who you enjoy more, then I guess it's not. It's just like depending on your perspective. So very different kind of points of discussion there that's been had, but they are there. And then D Horde came in, and then Daryl. I mean, Daryl went. I think she could probably meet up with Daryl because I think Daryl actually took the other way around because Dog kind of ran off in fear and he crawled between the rocks, and then Daryl went after him. So I feel like even like if she definitely does fall, then she could easily crawl under the train or run past them or something and actually meet up with Daryl instead. And then Negan is with the rest of them, and then he's probably going to spin some kind of story if she didn't make it or something. And then I mean, knowing them, that they're probably not all of them are probably going to believe it, but either way, I think it'll be fun to see where that leads us. But we have them, and then Team 2, we have Eugene, Yumiko, Princess, and Ezekiel over in the hands of the Commonwealth. And I did discover, I think I was browsing Twitter after having watched that episode, and I think the Walking Dead account on Twitter did kind of go far to promote that new character, and his name is Mercer. I found out through Twitter his name is Mercer, the guy in the red suit, who is self-proclaimed to be in charge of the Commonwealth. And I mean, as much as they have like a mayoral candidate, I think he is also in charge of like everything else. So he may well be like a second in command, or he may be the one with more power before you reach the actual kind of city center or whatever. But he is in charge to like a certain to a certain degree, I believe. So yeah, I mean, unless the mayoral stuff could just be a cover to make them out to be some kind of like well-standing. Because I feel like that might be like the more I think about it, I feel like that might be more the twist too. Like maybe they're not actually as stable as they seem. Maybe they are still pretty. Maybe they're like the saviors, but with just a bit more kind of like a more polished, more kind of like it's easier to pass them off as good people, or like as like an actual stable people because of the resources they have. But then deep down, they are still kind of as corrupt as the saviors, or maybe saviors were explicitly corrupt, but then maybe maybe deep down they're still as corrupt and stuff as the governor's people from way back when. So maybe they're as corrupt as them, but then they're able to like put up a front of being stable and still being like what the old world used to be and all that kind of stuff. And then Mercer is the one who enforces that stuff. And then because he needs a good cover, maybe he actually kind of has someone on the sideline actually pretending to be like a mayor or like a minister or something. So yeah, so we had Mercer, we met him, and then Eugene, and then the group just kind of went through like a whole assessment and everything, and then they were threatened with I think they called it, was it reprocessing. I think we saw Mercer actually sending his guys in to take one guy out for reprocessing. So Mercer is in charge of reprocessing. But then there's other like a man and a woman who does the initial assessments, and then then they like just ask a load of invasive questions like your postcode and your number and your previous employment and your parents' numbers and bowel movements and everything. So they ask a lot of invasive questions to know as much about you in detail before the fall and everything, and how you met people and all that kind of stuff. And then reprocessing, I'm almost scared I'm pretty scared to actually find out exactly what reprocessing might be, just because like those guys, they use a desk, like that man and woman actually use a desk, but Mercer needs no desk. He just towers over you like a big hulking beast and just kind of just intimidates you into unleashing every truth known to mankind. So So yeah, they found them, and they got close to an escape too. Princess found out that 2 of the Commonwealth security people were banging, and then they had the idea to nick their costumes while they were off banging and try to escape that way. But then Yumiko found out that her sister, I think it was her sister. I mean, I've heard some people saying it was like a brother or a sister or something, but perhaps like a sibling is within the Commonwealth or has interacted with the Commonwealth. So like someone she knows is within the Commonwealth. So then Yumiko decided that she had to stay. So now I think the group's gonna have to stay and find out who that is and where they're at. Like if they're still where the rest of the group is, or if they're with the Commonwealth in the city. But yeah, I guess that is pretty much all we have from the last one. So going into episode 2 now, we can find out exactly who is in the Commonwealth and who Yumiko needs to meet up with, and what's going to happen with Maggie and Negan and everything. So yeah, it should be fun. But that is pretty much all I have from the last one. So on to episode number 2 of season 11, on to the reaction. And as you guys want to know by now, this one is just going to be the fair use version with the highlights and the best bits of the episode. But if you guys want to catch the full-length version, then that one will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there too. That will be just as much fun. But yeah, on to The Walking Dead, season 11, episode 2. Let's go.
Where's Maggie? She was right behind me.
Are they going to be able to move forward? Are they going to be willing to move forward without Maggie? Are they going to try and go back for her?
She wants us to keep moving forward.
Huh. Okay then. Okay, no more running off into corners, you hear me? You stick by Daryl. Be a good boy, you stick by Daryl. Was he a bank robber? Because yeah, I mean, the fall comes, things go to shit, people would not hesitate at all to rob whatever they can. Money, food, medicine, whatever. The truth lies. Oh yeah, got the fall of the government. Your crown for your life, no homework, no money. Damn. So people fighting for crowns too, people fighting for leadership, or people fighting for power. Like government figures already having power and using it for themselves, and then everyone else, especially homeless people, being left to fend for themselves and being forgotten.
Who do you report to?
You want to speak to my supervisor?
That's right, we want to talk to the manager.
We're talking to the manager. Oh, Princess pulling a Karen. We would like to speak to the manager. God damn. Dear Dad, you always said if you don't come back in a week to move on. Mom didn't listen. Oh. And went looking, it's been 3 weeks, so we're gonna next I'll watch Jesse and turn on the radio every day. So the mother left. Soon love you, Tom and Jesse. Damn. How a story can unfold on a fucking dollar bill, like a $10, whatever that was. How a story can unfold. Oh, Walker with a hat. That's a first. Don't think I've ever seen a Walker with a hat before. That's a first. Maybe Walkers with like helmets, like in the last episode. No. Whoa. Dog. Dog, what the hell? No, dog, don't keep.
You ask about who we were because someone above you has decided that that's a good baseline position from which to judge who we are. Test our sense of boundaries with queries about our toileting habits. You raked one of my people over the coals due to a $2 bill, which makes me believe your currency is the US dollar, and that you need to strictly control the amount in circulation.
Yeah.
You just need to rely on your gut instinct about whether or not the person across from you will or won't murder you in your sleep.
She's good. Yumiko is so fucking good.
If that fine-ass stew in the orange suit just walked in, things must be going good for you.
Damn. Yeah, Princess even has a thing for scary people. Yeah. Or intimidating authority figures.
A tu servicio.
¿Tú crees que hay alguna manera que yo pueda ir afuera y usar el hoyo donde usted hace que la gente orine?
I love multilingualism. I fucking love it.
Hay un baño. Do you have toilet paper?
But they gotta have if they're gonna ask you how much you wipe your ass, they have to have toilet paper. I mean, if they're asking how much you go to the toilet, they have to have some paper to go along with it. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, now Eugene's gonna shit himself. He's not gonna go to the toilet, he's just gonna shit himself. He's definitely shit himself. No, that's Maggie. She's under the train. Maggie's coming and she's gonna rat Negan's ass out. Oh, god damn.
I slipped. He saw, and he left me to die.
You tried to kill her. She was in trouble and I didn't help. There is a big difference.
Well, he didn't stop her from dying. He didn't try and kill her, but yeah, he didn't stop her from dying.
And yet somehow, I'm the big ol' asshole because I didn't risk my nuts for her.
So you change her mind, Negan. You don't prove her point.
Goddamn asset for every single one of you.
We can get through the city without him.
If she leaves him alive now, would that change his mind? Oh, Gage. Oh, him. That kid.
How do you get in there? Hey, this one seems a bit looser.
Oh, for God's sake. Can they even save him? It took long enough for them to get the other door open. This one, by the time they do open it, the kid is probably dying. Oh no.
We don't have the ammo to clear them.
Oh, God damn it. So if the group watches her let another kid die, or letting the kid die.
I can't.
Does he have any weapons on him? Can he defend himself even in the slightest? Oh. Oh, he killed himself. Oh. Oh, he doesn't want to die to the walkers, he's just killing himself. That's not a good look, Maggie. That's really not a good look. Wow. Jeez, here's a rib cage. Here's a rib cage. Yeah, Gage is rib cage. I'm sorry, that felt mean. That felt really mean. Oh, Gage's rib cage. Oh, that felt too mean. That felt too mean. That just felt too mean. That was. Oh no. Oh god, okay. Well, you know, he had a good run. Yeah. But then again, he used to torment Lydia, so. I don't know. Gage walks again.
There were these three deformed, I wouldn't call them men. They came after me.
Oh, the creepy crawly things we saw in the trailer. The creepy crawlers. Yeah, the deformed, not men. The creepy things.
Her arms and her legs been cut off, stitched up, her eyes gouged out. And she was wheezing through an open, cauterized gash in her
Ah,
throat where her
yeah,
vocal cords had to be
the vocal
ripped
cords.
out.
Yeah, so they can't scream, they can't growl like they usually do.
And whatever was inside of there was trying to get out.
She was pregnant with a baby walker?
Went upstairs and there were three more just like her.
Was she pregnant before, or was she pregnant with a baby walker?
I don't feel anything when I tell you that.
She's desensitized. She's seen shit. She has seen enough shit to be desensitized.
Because that is what's out there. What we have in Alexandria. What we had in Hilltop. And in Meridian. It's rare. It has to be. Because if it isn't,
It means we were lucky. It means that nobody has it figured out. Nobody ever did. And nobody ever will.
Oh, so walking not far behind him. Oh, you sneaky little shits. Ah, okay, it's just one. That's just one behind you. You can take that out. Oh, oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, a blood trail. A blood and guts trail. Tell me dog's okay. Tell me dog didn't get gutted. Oh boy. Oh, that's a person. That's a guy. Oh! Gee, whoa. Dog just tackles. Dog just straight up tackles. Okay, you need to stop running off like that, okay? That does not help.
Where's the ammo bag?
Did Gage have it?
Lost that too.
Oh, you lost it. Okay, I was about to say, if Gage had it, my god, that's just a piss-taking waste of resources. A grenade and a gun. Oh, he's got a grenade. He had a grenade on him. Jeez.
Tell my kids I didn't die a coward.
If you break enough of that glass, can you climb through? Is that too narrow? Is it too narrow? If you break enough of that glass so you don't get cut, can you actually just, like, climb through it? I feel like you could, maybe. I don't know, maybe. Maybe Shoulders couldn't, maybe Duncan couldn't, but... anyone else? Oh god, here they come. Okay. I mean, if you can get some close quarters kills in, then do that. Just... yep, goodbye Gage. Yeah, Come on, Duncan, come on. Oh. Yep, close quarters combat, come on, boys, you got this. Oh. She's giving Negan a gun. She's okay, that's a big step up. That's a big step up. Oh damn, no damn. Oh, he's got a gun too. Daryl's got a gun too. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that's such a great shot. Oh, that's such a great shot. Oh, grenade, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, there we go. Come on. Tick, tick, boom. There we go. There we go. That was good.
You like feeling nervous? No. Only one thing gets my heart up. Battling the dead.
Action. Heart pumping action.
Pumping. Every time.
Oh, he's gonna terrify Eugene. Yeah, he's gonna terrify him.
We spoke of train museums and ice cream cones, and we laughed. We sang Iron Maiden. And we wanted to meet. So I got my friends. I'm not one for whom any relationship come easy, particularly those with the fairer sex. And I am in fact a virgin.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Observed the act far more times than I care to admit.
Yeah, he's a boy. He's never actually. Yeah, he's.
Thank you for holding back your titties.
Okay. So that's out in the open now. Oh, they're locking in one of those train carriages again. Oh, it's different now. He's reunited with them. Oh, he's back with his friends. We're back with friends. Oh.
Let it out.
Oh.
When you walk through these doors, you'll be escorted to orientation.
Oh, they got orientation now.
Cop.
Oh, by
To the Commonwealth.
Oh, they're in the Commonwealth now.
I went to West Point. Asshole.
Oh, well, he went to military school then. He was actually in the army. Well, at least he went to military school. Is Stephanie real? I'm holding out the smallest of hopes for Stephanie. Is Stephanie still real? This has to be Stephanie.
Which one of you is Eugene?
That's Stephanie! Has to be Stephanie.
Stephanie.
She was real. She was real and she was Commonwealth. She is real and she is Commonwealth. Okay. Okay. Hung upside down from their feet. Are they walkers or are they humans? Those are humans. Oh, they hung. Oh, that is some horror. That is some proper horror movie stuff. That is some proper horror movie shit.
Double back. We can cut.
Oh! Oh, jeez, oh! Oh, god. Oh! Those are Reapers. Oh, they chopped the guy's hand off! They chopped his hand off! It's the Reapers. Time to purge. Time to purge. Okay, that's the preview. I'm not watching the preview. I would like to remain spoiler free for the next episode, so yeah, the Reapers cometh. The Reapers cometh. So yeah, that was an interesting ending. There's a very, very, very tense ending. Can't wait to see where that leads us into episode number 3. But this was a great two-part. This premiere as a whole was a really, really great two-part to actually open the season up on. Very, very tense and dramatic, and really kind of brings back the kind of
like the earlier drama and the earlier chills and stuff, and like the kind of horror factor that like something like the early to mid seasons of Walking Dead offered, I feel, and everything. So like quite a few things kind of rolled out near enough to like the way I would have expected them to, which is actually kind of nice. And then there was actually some more shocking material too. I think the underground stuff with Daryl. I really want to talk about that, like the underground stuff with Daryl. Just him, because that kind of storytelling in The Walking Dead is actually what I've really kind of appreciated over the years too. Like the ones that just have no lines in them whatsoever. The characters and talking, just them exploring and seeing all these graphics over the environment, and seeing all the state of the environment and all the different things. That kind of set production too, that kind of like production value behind the set and the environment, and how like the writers use that to tell the story and have the characters reacting to that overall. Because I think a lot of the time too, I think it very much brings me back into playing The Last of Us, and like how well the developers of The Last of Us use the environment to their advantage too, and how they use the environments to tell stories. Because in that one too, that one is I think it's open world in the sense that exploration in itself is very, very advantageous, and it's very, very kind of like fluid, and it's very, very kind of thorough as well. Like The Last of Us, they tell stories through the environment, so it's like it's not open world and you can explore this, that, and the other. But it's like you go where you need to go, but then there are also places that you don't need to go. But then if you want to have the richest, most kind of thought out and most thought provoking like kind of experience and gameplay possible, then you can really explore those kinds of environments and those kind of things, and then the environments can tell their own stories that are kind of separate from the main story, but then still follow that and actually kind of add more depth into that world. So I think with this one thing, it's actually watching this kind of stuff in the earlier scenes, it didn't really hit me as much. It was more like like that's really cool, like it seems really deep and stuff like that. But then actually playing like a game, obviously it makes you actually think a lot more, and you have to actually be more critical, and you have to actually engage in it a lot more. So there's that. So I think playing like The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2 actually kind of actually actually forcing myself and actually putting myself into actually and actually somewhat reminding myself to actually go and explore more things actually made me kind of realize, oh yeah, these environments are like actually designed to actually tell more stories than the characters ever could, and they're actually designed to even have the characters react in ways that even they don't really know, like the full depth of the horrors of this new world and everything. So watching the underground stuff with Daryl just really kind of brought me back to that, but then also pulled me into this new more current kind of story and what storytellers are doing. And I think the wall like graffiti art and everything actually showing off the governments and crowns and people, and I think that kind of story too is I think fighting over the crowns, I feel like maybe that's like symbolic of people fighting over leadership, and it doesn't even matter who you are. It's just like everyone is fighting. People who want to survive could very much be fighting over power too. Like you have people who form groups, but then in those groups, people try and elect a leader, and then people try and form that, and then even like government officials who manage to take whatever power they have left for themselves, they leave everyone else to die, and then they try and fend for themselves, and they try and fly off to safety in their private jets and all of their safe and secure methods of transportation and escape and everything. So they have that. So I think I think that kind of stark like even in the fall of humanity kind of being the one where being the event where true colors are revealed, who's gonna leave and leave everyone else to die, who's gonna actually be left and forgotten, people living on the ground, the homeless, they would be forgotten and everything, like that one homeless guy with the hat. I think I think maybe some of the soldiers in the last episode wore helmets, but I can't personally remember at a time I've ever seen a walker wear a hat. Like clothes, are understandable, but then a hat, it feels like a hat. If someone is running from a horde and then they lose a hat, I feel like it's not really the end of the world. No one's really going to go back for a hat unless there are rare occasions, but then even then, I feel like those rare occasions would not really kind of count unless it was for actual major characters with plot armor of some kind, because if it's like a random character going back for a hat, then the audience would be like, this person is an idiot, just let them die if they're willing to die over a hat. But then if it's like a main character, it's like, okay, the hat clearly means a lot to them and everything, so let them go back first. And then with this homeless guy, I feel like this guy maybe actually kind of do it, because I think everyone's infected already, but then it's also to the point where no matter how you die, you still turn it, unless your brain itself is damaged and unless your brain itself is actually destroyed in some way, then you still turn, even if you die of illnesses. If you do, like the homeless would have actually died off to the plague or to some other illness, and like even if they die that way, then they still turn. So I think that could have been what happened to that guy. And then I think back to the wall, the wall art, the graffiti art. I think there's like like truth and lies and like just all like it comes for us all, written in spray paint as well, and everything's like no matter what you do, no matter where you go, like it will catch up with you. You'll end up you either kill or you be killed, pretty much. And I think that is a mentality that people would fall into fairly quickly too. I think with The Walking Dead, though, the way it worked was they actually kind of used the first few seasons to actually set up. Like I think it started like the setup was clearly actually like be careful, try not to get killed by walkers, but then it actually gradually slipped into all different kinds of people who would also try and kill you or try and get you killed on the way too. So I think it gradually slipped into that before exposing more and more maniacal and more inherently dangerous people and everything. So yeah, there was that, and then there was the other guy who was a bank robber too. I assume he was a bank robber because then he lost his hand. His arm was cut, his arm was ripped off, and he was dead. He shot himself in the head, but his arm was ripped off, and then his severed arm was on the ground with handcuffs connected to a briefcase full of cash. So I felt like he was a bank robber of some kind. And when the fall happens, people there are all sorts of people who would resort to just stealing whatever they can, be it money, food, medicines. I think it's happened in so many different places. I think instantly my mind, internally my mind definitely flashed to The Last of Us. I think because The Last of Us 2, there like when you first go into Seattle with Dina, you have to actually explore like a bank, and then you find codes and stuff in there, and then the story about how a group of bank robbers actually tried to rob a bank once the world fell and everything, and then they failed, and then they actually all turned into zombies and everything. So there was that one, and then also I think World War Z. It reminded me of that one when Jerry and his family are actually kind of scrambling for resources and actually trying to find medicine for his daughter too, and then they run into all sorts of like just riots in the street, and people just kind of definitely just like what's the word, like ravaging, scavenging for materials, scavenging for resources and everything. So when the world goes down, people will people will show their true colors in all sorts of different ways. So some people will resort to murder, and others will resort to thievery, and others to survival. So it's like a like a nice kind of grey area for humanity. Some are bad, some are great, some are just downright shit. So yeah, but that kind of like that whole scene of him, and I think especially what hit me like one of the hardest things was definitely that note too, like the actual letter written on the note, especially because it's like I don't know what it was, like a $1 or like a $10 or like a something, like it was like a dollar note, it was a dollar note. But then the amount of detail that could actually be written as a letter on something as small. I mean, not necessarily small because it's like still like that big roundabouts, like that big roundabouts. So like it's like the amount of detail that can still be written on that, and it's like like the kid didn't even actually touch the middle section at all. Like he wrote on the top half and the bottom half, and then switched it over, and then I think he actually wrote down all the way down. So on the front where the actual big number is, he didn't dare touch that. But then even then it's like he wrote, I think he wrote, and he said like how his dad told him if he's not back within, I think if he's not back within 3 days or 3 weeks, then just to then to move on or something, and then like. The mother didn't stay. The mother moved on. So then he said, "After this, I'm definitely gonna go my own way as well." So, that kind of thing. So like a kid, I think he mentioned the mum. I think he mentioned the mum, and he mentioned that. I think he mentioned that she had already left. And then afterwards, he was like, I'm gonna wait and find more food. But then if you're not back by then I'm just gonna go as well or something. So I think sooner or later I'll be the next one to go, or we'll all leave or something along those lines. So just like that one story just being kind of fleshed out on like a dollar note just amazes me. So yeah, and I think again those kinds of things like that kind of value in storytelling and production is, and especially one of the things I love about these post-apocalyptic stories, like the stories you can get even after all this, the survivors and how they can utilize their environment to their advantage too. Like this kid clearly couldn't find paper, so he wrote out like the most minute details on a dollar note, and it's like like how people will still try and find ways to use their environment to actually kind of leave messages and to actually tell stories to any other passersby who might come across them and everything. And I think especially like with The Last of Us 2, like how long that game was in development and how fleshed out it is. Like with The Last of Us 2, like almost every other day I get a video in my recommended about like some new detail that someone playing the game for the umpteenth time has discovered, like be it like a detail with the monsters, or a detail with the story, or a detail with the environment. Like that game just has an endless amount. Like some people have the keenest fucking eyes and ears out there, just like, you know, they just discover all new different things. And it's like those details, like just how much they flesh out the environment in these kinds of things, like be it movies, TV shows, or games, like how much they flesh out the environment, how much they actually incorporate the environment into their story is always what gets me. It's always what gets me. It's definitely one of the things that gets me. It's definitely one of the reasons I actually love post-apocalyptic stories and stuff too. So it's just amazing. It's just really kind of like quality storytelling kind of stuff. So seeing Daryl experiencing this was really like a nice touch too. Like Daryl would definitely be the one. I mean, he wouldn't be the only one, but I think he's also like a really interesting choice of character to actually have, like, going around and actually reading this stuff. Because I think having I think Daryl is kind of somewhat more canonically known to be a lone wolf too. Like, he has no problem going off on his own, and then in the end he'll come back to his group and to his family and everything. But then if he goes off on his own, it's like he's the one who's going to be a lot more attentive and a lot more kind of, you know, caught off guard by these details, and he's going to be the one who's actually like catching on to these and actually like noticing these things and taking them to heart and everything, and seeing how all these other families kind of went through their shit and how they got separated and everything. So it's really something. It's really something. And then so the Maggie and Negan stuff. So I think Maggie, I won't lie, Maggie made it back to the group a lot sooner than I thought she would. I figured her she would crawl under the train. I feel like that one was kind of, you know, like especially with the episode opening shot being the train undercarriage, showing plenty of space. I mean, one walker that would later show up, but then plenty of ample space for her to actually climb under and crawl to safety and everything. So nice kind of parallel to, like, you know, like husband, like wife, they both kind of crawl to safety under various objects and everything. So, you know, nice kind of parallels there. But either way, I think even then, I feel like she definitely made her way back to the group a lot sooner than I thought I would. I think I was expecting her to actually crawl through under the train, but maybe through the rocks the same way Daryl did. So I was half expecting her to actually make her way back to him, and then for all three of them, her, Daryl, and Dog, to make their way back to the group, and then everything, and then like the entire episode, like, you know, like the group might just end up thinking that Maggie was dead or something, and everything, and then it maybe wouldn't be until the end that, you know, she actually reunited and everything. So yeah, and then of course I was wondering, like in that time, would she still punish Negan, or would she still do something else? But I think like, you know, like her punishing Negan can also definitely be chalked up to the fact that she made it back to him so soon. So then that kind of betrayal was fresh in her mind too, and the entire time she was just thinking, like, you know, I wouldn't have to do this if Negan actually saved me, but he didn't, because that's who he is, and everything else. So then she made it back, and then she immediately goes in, like, to actually knock it, to try and punch him out with the gun and everything. And he doesn't even die. I think he definitely uses her words against him to hit like in his argument, like saying, like, you know, like she said it herself. She said she would not hesitate to murder me if she got the chance, and now I'm supposed to actually sacrifice, like, give any body part for this woman too. And it's like, you know, again, it's like, I think I think people will defend Negan because of his past and because of what he did for them, what he's done for them with the Whispers and everything, and people will use that. And I think that if you're going to do that, then yeah, that's fine. But I think also what he needs to keep in mind is that, you know, like, not only is this the same woman who wasn't there, so who left for years, and now she just come back. Like these are also, like, the majority of the people on that train. The majority of the people on that train know him as the man who bashed her husband's head, and he like they know him as the man who killed various members of their group, and tried to, like, hold them captive with capitalism, and like, as the leader of the state. And I think like this is a group with people that don't know that he's tried to change, don't know that he's trying to do better, like don't know that he's tried to do anything at all, and he is not at all taking that into actual consideration or acknowledgement. Like he has worked with Carol and Daryl, that's it. Like, Carol, Daryl, and Aaron, and like people at Alexandria, people held up even after
Maggie left, and I think, and I think, and him, and he's just not really helping. He's not really helping himself. Even if you want to support him, he's just really not helping himself either. He's literally kind of using oh, she's pissed off at me, so I'm going to use that as an excuse to not help her and then prove her point even further. Like that is literally also exactly what he's doing too. Like if he actually does want people to believe him, then step one would have been don't leave Maggie to die. And especially do it out of spite too. Actually, if she makes the argument that you're not worth saving or that she wouldn't try and save you, prove her wrong. That is one of the ideal ways. And I think it's I think I wouldn't even call it grueling work, because I think the way they're treating him is based on what he's done before. It's not based on any manipulation of facts or any kind of lies whatsoever. He literally did kill members of their group, one of them being her husband, the late father of Herschel Jr. So what he's done, he has done everything that they are pissed off at him for. So he's not really kind of helping his case by not acknowledging that, or actually refusing to think that that still counts now. Because again, he has only worked with Carol, with Carol and Daryl and Alden, even like a little bit. So the people he's with now, he's not really kind of showing them that he's changed, or that he's better, or that he can still be, or that he can even in any way be trusted. But then, I think it's also to do with the fact that as much as he's grown, it's not so much positive reinforcement. It's literally just them using him to do their bidding too. So I feel like maybe for him it's because even Carol said no one's going to forget what he did, no one's going to forget who he was, but then if he gives them something new to think about, then that'll be even better. So if he actually does kill Alpha for them, then, then that'll be the new talk of the town. So they'll be oh, Negan used to be a traitor, but now he actually helped kill, he helped take down Alpha and the Whisperers, albeit, not before they managed to actually burn down Hilltop and everything. So he's, again, I think that's also, his growth is more of a controversial topic too. Did he really grow, or did he just, kind of do good stuff to try and stay alive? Did he actually regret any of his actions? Did he actually apologize to any of them? Did he actually do anything to change? Or, is it just okay, if I keep doing stuff like this, then for one thing, I won't have to stay in the cell, but then for another thing, they won't kill me either. So, I think I feel the one good, I don't even know if I'd call it good, but I think the one episode we've had with him that isn't inherently evil or isn't inherently antagonistic is his bonus episode, that final episode of season 10, the bonus episode we got for him, where we saw his backstory and him with Lucille, his human Lucille, that was the one episode we got with him that wasn't antagonistic, it wasn't inherently evil. That was him trying to do the same thing too, trying to stay alive, trying to keep his wife alive and everything. So that's the one episode we got with him where we actually got a version of Negan we could somewhat support up until the very end, where he went, where he actually kind of entered his routine murderous ways and everything. So yeah, Negan, Negan's just not do even if you do stand with Negan, even if you do support Negan, even if you do think he should they should go easy on him, you can't help but deny he's not doing himself any favors. He really isn't actually doing himself any favors. And I think he may well be tired of being treated like shit like this, and he may well have made some good arguments in the last episode, but at the same time, he's not taking everyone's kind of perspective into consideration, and because of that, he's not really kind of grasping how to accurately and how to appropriately approach the situation in a way that doesn't make someone want to actually punch him in the face over and over again, how to actually avoid that kind of outcome. So it's just, I don't know, it's just, yeah, that's just, stand with him or not, you can't deny that he's not doing himself any favors, and the group are not exactly wrong, especially after this, for trusting him. So it's if you want them to treat you better, then just prove them wrong. Actually show them that you're capable of not killing with murderous intent and not betraying them at a moment's notice because of things they say. So again, doing it out of spite. If he's going to do it out of spite, then all the more merit. If he's going to do it out of spite, oh, you said I would kill you, but look at that, I saved your life instead. Great, that would still work in it. It might semi-work in it, because then they might try and use the argument against them, being oh, you only saved us because we said we'd kill you, not because you actually want to. Again, I don't know, it could go either way. It could honestly go either way, but either way, prove them wrong. Literally, just prove them wrong, and that would be the ultimate way to, try and get them to actually ease up on you, at least a little bit too. So
And then what? Okay, now we've talked about Negan. I feel like we've appropriately chastised and berated Negan enough. But now, what might not help Maggie's case, what might not, or at least in the moment, what didn't help Maggie's case, but then also what might also get carried on into future episodes. Maggie letting Gage die. She let him die. She just, like insisted that they didn't have the ammo to clear them out and to save him or anything. And even stopped Alden. Alden was the one person actually willing to actually. I mean, probably not the only one thinking they could save him. Maybe I think the others were thinking it, but then Alden was the only one actually kind of like stubborn enough or like resistant enough to actually kind of go against her orders and try and save him. And then Duncan gets in the way with his big bulky shoulders and everything. So yeah. But no. So then Gage doesn't make it, and then even Gabriel's just being like, it's too late, I can't save him. So and then Gage gets pissed off in the very end too, and he kills himself. I thought when he got the 2 knives out, I thought he was gonna gouge his eyes out. I don't know why. I literally thought he was gonna just stick him into his eye, maybe try and damage his brain so he would die instantly that way. Maybe just get him deep enough to do something. But no, he just stabbed himself. I think he just stabbed himself in the heart. So I think his plan was then to actually kind of take himself out, and or at least like die in a way of his own doing, of his own cause, in a way that actually would like render him painless to the actual kind of biting and eating. And I think the fact that they didn't eat him completely actually kind of surprised me, because I think usually when they get like a human like that, like when they catch something like that, usually they actually do. Usually they actually strip the meat completely off the bones. I think I'm surprised they left enough of him to actually turn. They went straight for his rib cage, or rather his rib gauge. I think I felt okay. Listen, right. I felt almost immediately after making that pun, I felt terrible because the kid's dying. He did not deserve that. I mean, I think they even made that argument later on too. He might have he did abandon them. He did abandon them with the other old guy that Daryl then actually got back, and then that guy died too. He got an arrow to the face and he died almost immediately too. So they both abandoned them. They both deserted the group, and then he came back in the most kind of door-stopping way possible. So then they established that he might have left them, but then he didn't really deserve to go out like that. And he had a knife. He had 2 knives. He could have easily. He could have tried pulling it down, but I think he probably wouldn't last long because he's not an experienced killer. He's not an experienced fighter. So I think he could have at least got like a good few hits in the head from a few of them, and then he could have gone out fighting. But then I think he then also wanted to go out in a way that was of his own cause, and he didn't want to be overpowered by walkers or anything like that. But he could have taken a few out with him though. But then they're like he didn't fall with it. I think because I do trust he did actually go for hard shots too. But then he didn't actually collapse or fall immediately. Like as he was stumbling back, he stumbled into the arms of the walkers, and then they actually started ripping him open and everything. So I think I'm trusting maybe that by that time he was mostly painless and mostly kind of numb to the feeling of being ripped apart from the stomach and actually showing off his rib cage. I don't know why I can't stop making that pun. But no, then that happened, and then so then they didn't actually eat him completely. They did not eat him completely, and they actually left enough of him to actually rise again. So that surprised me. I would think they would spend the rest of that time just literally just kind of completely like stripping a fresh corpse bare of any meat or skin or anything or organs or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just kind of shocked me because as far as I'm aware, they used to do that. As far as I'm aware, they used to actually happily munch on like a new body until there was nothing left. But I guess now that's no longer what they do. So yeah, But then, because I think the group was shocked. Alden was shocked. I think Gabriel was shocked, but he was also just following orders and everything. And then Negan was looking across at Maggie, and I was like, okay, well, if you mean you let people die, and then I think Negan was shocked in a different way too, because I think he was understanding of why she would let him die, but then actually her letting a kid die, letting Gage die, maybe kind of surprised him too. Like, wow, you're just willing to let anyone
who's not worth your time or your resources die on you. Like, for me, it's because I killed someone you care about, but for him, it's just like, oh, you claim we don't have the ammo or the fire. Because again, close quarters combat is a thing. Like, by the time they open it, even if they did get through, they could still try and do something. They could, I feel like, like, them relying on guns or even arrows too much. I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, because I was thinking, like, because then on the one hand they cut away from them opening the door, and then even when they cut back to that same scene, they were still opening the door. But then I can't tell if that was like, I can't tell if that was like a legitimate time jump of like 20 minutes ahead, or if it was like something else. Because things sometimes they can cut straight back to that scene again as if it's happening ahead of time, but really it's like just like them still like actually going back in time and showing what the group is doing straight after that, and in the place of a scene transition. So I was wondering maybe that's the case, like, oh, maybe the door still takes effort to open, but then it's still so quicker than you realize. So then maybe if that is the case, then maybe they can still do something, but apparently not. I think maybe he died just to kind of show that Maggie is this kind of character now, and also like that might raise some tensions in the group too, and actually showing that you all knew she was willing to let me die. Like, especially if Negan raises that argument in the future, like, oh, you knew she was willing to let me die, but then you had no idea she would actually let an innocent kid kind of die just because according to her we don't have the resource to save him. So I feel like that might come up as some kind of other topic of mutiny, or like some kind of topic of opposition to Maggie's leadership and everything. So I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But yeah, Gage and the other guy died. The Gage and the older guy that Daryl ran into later on died as well. So yeah. And then yeah, later on after that, Maggie shared her own story of horror, and I think those kind of stories too, those kind of actual character monologues and those kind of character speeches actually, especially in like a story like this, in a show like this, characters sharing their own stories of horror or wisdom or what's the word, like, not euphoria, what's what I'm thinking of, like not enema not enema, no, this is a word, like stories of epiphany, stories of epiphany. I don't know why enema came into my mind before epiphany. Stories of epiphany. So like, but I think in this case it was a story of horror. I think a story of horror, and also like a story of realization, and like a story of like somewhat kind of more scary wisdom and everything. But I think it was a story possibly unrelated to the Reapers, but also linked to a scene we saw in the trailer that creeped the bejesus out of me. But a story about how her and Herschel, but before she got to Meridian, before she even got to Meridian, before she met Cole or Elijah or any of them, she was wandering the woods with Herschel Jr. and then they came across an old man who asked them to actually help him back to the house in exchange for food and everything. And then she knew he was lying, she knew he was bullshitting. But they went anyway, and then by the end of it, she held a knife to his throat and then actually shoved the chloroform rag in his mouth and knocked him right out and probably stabbed him in the head too to prevent him from coming back and everything. But then the further she looked, the more she explored into the house, the worse stuff she found, the worst she found in the world, the kind of worst she found the scenario to actually be like, oh, bring them back to the house for one thing, but then Lord knows what he would actually do with them once he got that chloroform rag over them and everything. So yeah, but then she took him out and then she locked Herschel in a bedroom to keep him safe, or like a bathroom or something, and then she went out looking for things, and then she ran into the creepy crawlers. She those creepy crawling bodies we saw in the trailer that just they're like just I mean, she even called them like deformed but not men, like they were deformed, not men exactly, but just these creatures and everything. So I don't know if they're going to be some kind of hybrid walkers or some kind of other hellish creatures that like a cross between a walker and a demon or something. But either way, just walkers. And the way they were in the trailer, and especially the way they were in the trailer, they seemed quiet and swift and fluid. I think they're going to remind me of the stalkers from The Last of Us Part 2. The stalkers that Ellie runs into in the offices, like the stalkers who are really quiet. They hide in corners and they come at you from nowhere and everything. It's going to be like the stalkers from The Last of Us 2. So yeah, but she ran into them, and by herself she fought them off. She fought those things off by herself. So, I mean, we've seen the briefest of glimpses. We haven't seen how they fight. We've seen how they approach you. We've seen how they move. They move quietly and all grudge-like and everything. But we haven't seen how they attack, how they fight, if they kind of pounce at the last minute, or if they actually do
something else. But either way, she fought them off. She literally fought them off, and you know, God knows what that was like. And then she actually went deeper into the house, and then I think she went into like one of the other bathrooms, and then she found, I think she said, what did she? I think before she found the old woman, I think she found something else. Like three, I think three, but no, I think no, I think the three she found was the actual walkers. I think the three she found was the actual creepy crawly walkers. And then I think she said that, you know, she heard thumping coming from the attic. And then she went up there to investigate, and then she found something even worse. She found like what resembled and what reminded her of a walker, but then it was like an old woman, and she had her arms and legs chopped off, and she had her eyes gouged out and her tongue ripped out, and even her vocal cords were ripped out too, just like with the actual bodies in the underground of the subway. Like the vocal cords are ripped out, so then the walkers can't growl. So they can't make any noise. So then that kind of offers that advantage in it. But then they're completely just like disabled, essentially. Like they are completely disabled. They can't make any noise. They can't. I mean, I don't know if they take away the teeth as well, or just the tongue. But then they have no tongue, they have no voice, they have no eyes, they can't see. They have, I don't know if they chop off their ears. I don't know if they actually strip them down to possibly just being as nothing as possible. Like their arms and legs are taken. They can just barely do anything but like rock around upstairs or whatever and stuff. But then she still had a full round belly too. So I think initially, I won't lie, I think initially my mind did kind of try to then end. My mind then initially ended up imagining, for some reason, a pregnant walker. I don't know why, because I think the whole point of a walker is that it's dead. It's a dead human, like a beyond dead and reanimated human, but in a way that the bodily organs and bodily systems and functions no longer work in any way. You know, so then then technically speaking, like they don't they either don't have a digestive system at all, or they have a different digestive system. So like they have one that, I mean, in which case they probably have one that just kind of keep. I mean, they still decay, but then either way, like regardless of whether it actually feeds them or not, then they're still kind of hungry for flesh and blood and everything. So there's still that, but they have like no bodily functions whatsoever. So then naturally you start to wonder, okay, but even if they are pregnant, like how would that really work? It's not really like one of the more viable bodily functions for them to have. So it doesn't make too much. I mean, and it doesn't make too much sense. And I think, but I mean, she did mention it was like there was something inside of her that wanted to get out. So it's like, you know, like is that like would she be going like a baby walker in there? Would she be? I mean, but then I kind of help wonder, like maybe she was actually pregnant before she turned. Maybe she was pregnant before she turned, and then, you know, maybe, yeah, so then maybe they killed her because she was pregnant, or maybe they actually killed her like regardless, but then maybe she just happened to be pregnant, because then she said she found more. I think did she mention finding more? I think she might have mentioned finding more like them, but I don't know if she actually specifically mentioned if they were exactly like her, if they also had round bellies or whatever. I think this one in particular had like a full round belly and everything, and then she mentioned she mentioned it was like there was something inside of her that wanted to get out and everything. So question remains if she was pregnant before or after the turning. So there's that. I think probably more like, I mean, it would be wackier if it was after the turning, because then it's like, oh, now walkers can start growing mini walkers inside of them, and they can do all that kind of stuff. So now life and death has really come full circle. But then no, I think it would probably as wacky that would seem, it would probably make more sense for it to be a walker who was pregnant pre-death and still managed to keep it. But then if she dies, then the baby dies too. So then, unless the baby inside of her would reanimate too. Maybe if the baby dies, but then if she comes back, then maybe that same process can also affect the baby too. So yeah, I don't know. But either way, you know, that's that. And I don't know who would have done that to her too. If it would have been the old man who did that to her too. If he would have been one of them. I feel like maybe that has to be. I am expecting that to be connected to the Reapers. I feel like, given how the Reapers have been set up so far, I would not put it past them for them to employ some kind of creepy technique of actually kind of
keeping walkers around, or keeping, because I think we've had groups before that have kept walkers on a leash or kept walkers around, like even Negan, like in the Saviors, would actually have like a whole kind of playground full of walkers taped to chained to posts and like strapped to the fences and everything. So I think maybe if the Reapers use this house as an outpost, or maybe if they use this house to kidnap people, like actually having the old man go out and lure people back in, then maybe if they use that to kidnap people and turn them into one of those things or something. So still begs the question where the creepers came from. That begs the biggest question. Like, you know, like how did the walkers evolve to become creepers? How the hell did that happen? But then I think the more human creation would be the Reapers actually the Reapers taking the bodies, ripping the tongues and eyes out, and then actually, you know, immobilizing them completely, and then actually leaving them in the attic to do whatever. So maybe that's what they actually do to, you know, the humans they kill, and then yeah. But that kind of horror story, like Maggie actually unveiling that was just, that was, I think for her that was the thing where it's like, you know, I think she mentioned, you know, like that's not the worst way to go. Actually, like the way Gage went is, you know, unbelievably simplistic too. Like actually being eaten by walkers and then turning into one, that's unbelievably simplistic. It's not the worst way you can die. And then her giving, I mean, I thought she was gonna bring up Glenn again. I genuinely thought she would actually be looking at Nia and be like, no, that's not the worst way to go. Watching the people you love die in front of you at the hands of someone else, that's the worst way to go. But then, no, she actually does bring up like a genuinely more terrifying and creepy story about all these different walker hybrids and mutants that she's run into, and stuff. And then being like, you know, if this is the this is the worst the world has to offer, but then if this is the worst the world has to offer, then that means that no one out there really kind of has any of their shit together. No one really knows what they're doing. People just kind of get lucky with the right people and in the right place at the right time, and they just kind of get by. But then other groups turn to darker, like much darker, much harsher methods of survival, but then they kill people along the way, and then this is what you get when you let those people roam free, and those people get what they want and stuff. They create all these different monsters and everything, so you just get a bunch of Dr. Frankenstein running around creating kind of all sorts of different walkers and everything. So yeah, that was a terrifying story. That was a terrifying story, and I honestly can't wait to see exactly like visually how that pans out. I think now I have come to kind of appreciate and love and also want both ends of that storytelling spectrum, because I think definitely hearing the story through a monologue is great, and I think it also depends on the actor and their ability to deliver that kind of monologue and to deliver that kind of speech, and how much they can how much they can give you to work with in terms of an imagination. But then actually seeing it play out later on feels more like payoff too, because then if you have a great monologue to begin with and then you get visual stuff later, because then if it's bad to begin with but then the visual stuff comes off later, it can feel like, oh, the visual stuff is actually just like finally getting like an accurate display. But then if you have a great kind of story, like a speech scene to begin with, and then that gets you thinking, that gets you imagining exactly what it could have been like, that gets you kind of picturing all these different things, but then you get the actual visual later on, it feels more like payoff, and it's like, oh, maybe it's not exactly how you imagined it, maybe it's even better than you imagined it, but either way, it's like it's good to finally see it played out in live action in some way down the line. So I can definitely always kind of appreciate those that kind of storytelling technique too. So yeah, I can't wait to see the Reapers in action, and then the creepy crawlers in action, and then maybe even seeing the exact kind of walkers that Maggie saw. Because I think the ones in the body bags, I don't know if they matched her exact description, but I think those ones did have the throat gashed out and everything. So at least that part of it was true. But overall, I think, I don't know, maybe not, but yeah, that one was really good. That scene was super duper good. And then yeah, to top it all off, that kind of story being Maggie's kind of final declaration for her being essentially desensitized to this new world now, like she's seen things that she never would have imagined before. Like I think, you know, to begin, I think, and it kind of shows how far she's come too. Like I think pretty much how far everyone's come, but then the stuff that she's seen is stuff that everyone's going to be now mentally baseline level prepared for coming forth. It's something that everyone's going to kind of have an idea of now going forward. Then I think coming up against these things now is like a completely different story too. So, her declaring that this is the reason why she's now desensitized to anything that the world can throw at her is honestly just some of the most metal shit I can imagine, and definitely goes to kind of provide some additional growth for her, with her now kind of
like I think it's the reason that she's able to make the hard call, knowing that the way that these people are dying, or the way that these people could die, is nothing compared to what she's seen happen to other people. So it's like, it doesn't make it any easier, or doesn't. I mean, it does, because the fact that like it makes it easier in the sense that then she can actually decide should she actually just let this one person die like a simpler kind of death, or should she risk the life of everyone just to not really progress even further in their mission or anything. But then again, progressing in their mission also means actually coming up against the worst stuff that she's seen. So it's a very tricky situation. But overall, I think the final kind of declaration is that Maggie has seen some shit, and now she literally is willing to make the hard call wherever possible. So, moving on from that back onto the Commonwealth stuff. We got some good Commonwealth. Content in this episode. We officially met Mercer. The big according to Princess, the fine ass guy in the orange kind of suit. I think people have been debating whether or not it's actually orange or red. I think if it's under light, I'd argue it's orange, but then under under bright lights, it's orange, but then under darker tones, then it's actually more of like a red. So I think I don't know. I don't know what that actually makes it. I don't know what that makes it. I don't know, but either way, he's the guy in a red suit. I'm gonna go with red. He's got a red suit. So yeah, we met him. I think we started off with Yumiko demanding to speak to the supervisor, and then Princess immediately pulling the Karen card. And I mean, I don't really want to call it a Karen card, but her immediately pulling out the line, the kind of catchphrase that people would recognize as that kind of calling card, be like, yeah, that's right, yeah, we would like to speak to your manager, we would like to speak to the manager and everything. So yeah, Mercer is the manager of the Commonwealth, and everything. So yeah, I think Yumiko is so good. Yumiko just, not just the fact that she's a lawyer, but then she's also so analytical. She just, she studies everything. She just knows her stuff. She studied them in particular too. I think as a lawyer, you would have to actually study and like thoroughly analyze each and every case file too. You can't treat any of them the same way. You have to actually figure out what makes each one special. So with this one, with the Commonwealth, it's just like another case file to her and everything. So I don't know if calling them case files is the right terminology either. Maybe like case files, dossiers. I don't know. But case file. I'm gonna go with case files, but then she's actually analyzing the Commonwealth, and actually like analyzing not only them but their questions too, being like, oh, you need to find out what we were to find out who we are, not like find out who we were before to try and determine who we are now and how we came to be in this position, how we grew, how we came to be these kinds of people. And then actually, them stripping Princess of her $1-2 memento thing and being like, okay, so you guys still use American dollar currency and everything, so you guys still use that. And not only that, but then they actually strip it down too. So no one gets more than they need. No one no one has any spare change, pretty much. Like people have enough to get what they need and nothing more. So then they literally, I think maybe that could also. I don't know if they would be if risking. I guess if they are if they have managed to rebuild society, if they have managed to rebuild their society to the way that it used to be, then I guess inflation could be a thing, or maybe it's like a thing that they want to avoid. But then also for stricter control over their people and over their budget and over their finances, because then can they even print more money? Can they really print more money, or is it do they have machines for that? Because I think if they can actually print more money, then there would be a risk of inflation, because then that's how it kind of goes into it, with other factors involved presumably. But then, I think even if they can, they would avoid using it too much. So then maybe because they didn't start off with any kind of money printing machines or anything like that, then maybe they actually do kind of use absolute limited kind of controls over money to actually keep that kind of stuff in control and to actually keep it kind of under wraps and everything. So then the $2 being the $2 being the $2 being caught on Princess, they actually take that away from her. But then she doesn't need money as of yet where they're going. So then maybe it's like a monopoly thing too. Maybe once they're like entering the Commonwealth is like passing go on the monopoly board, you get $200 and that's it. So then you have to earn the rest of your way up. So don't waste it. Don't spend it on anything you don't need. Just literally like $200, and that is the only free money you get. That is the only actual free money you get. And like maybe they don't even do loans inside the Commonwealth. Maybe they actually avoid like giving any money that they deem unnecessary. So then like anything you do like up from then, you literally earn your way through the Commonwealth systems and everything. So yeah, so then money is finance, so they control that in the best way possible, and then resources too, like like bowel movements and like all those other invasive questions they are. So like Yumiko literally analyzing exactly who they are and how they work and how they manage to do stuff and how well they do stuff based on the actual evaluation questions that they ask her and her friends and everything. So Yumiko, just spectacular, powerful, talented, immaculate, just everything, every possible positive word out of the dictionary. Just she is it. She knows her way through. Like, she's a lawyer. She studied hard to be a lawyer and she passed. She was a successful lawyer and everything. So she knows her shit and she knows how to analyze people and to actually get the information that she needs, and she knows how to ask questions too. So she knows. She very much knows. So props to her for getting them this far and for actually being smart enough to actually know exactly what to ask them and what to tell them too. So yeah. But then we meet Mercer afterwards. Mercer talking to Eugene finally just venting his heart out to Mercer. And I mean, at some point I was expecting Mercer definitely gives off that kind of, I mean, I feel like as part of his job description, he has to be intimidating to weed out the ones who actually mean bad and to weed out the ones who are like arseholes and everything. So especially his last line to Ezekiel too, like, oh, now you're going to go on to orientation, which will actually be held by a beat cop in the Commonwealth, not me, an actual person who used to be a beat cop, and then actually leaning into Ezekiel and be like, I went to West Point, arsehole, okay, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a guy who actually follows orders and tries to do the right thing. So he went to military school. He actually went to military school. I think whether or not he actually made it into the military, I'm assuming that could have happened. But then even without going into the army, or even if the fall happened just as he was joining the army, at that point he still had the full training. So what better way to put army training into practice and into actual application than the end of the world, than the end of the world and the dawn of a zombie apocalypse. What better way to put army training into practice than that? So he's very much done some good stuff since then. So that's cool. But then I think he also being the one in charge, being Mercer, being the one Commonwealth kind of military man, he also doesn't wear a helmet, so he has to use it. So the actor definitely utilizes facial expressions and eye expressions and everything to actually eloquently portray his feelings and everything. So he actually does make a point to tell. He does make several points to tell Eugene, if you're lying, I will know, and if you're lying, you will never see your friends again. You'll either get locked up or worse. So tell us the truth and tell it to us now, and just be smart about this. Don't try and play any funny games here. So then I think because of that, I was actually wondering if at some point he was just gonna slam the table in the middle of Eugene's story and tell him to shut up and tell him the truth, or what was gonna happen. But I think at that point then he could tell Eugene was actually telling the truth, and then he was actually listening and stuff. So then Eugene just kind of pours his heart out to the other auditor guy and to Mercer and tells him about the radio and Stephanie and their talks and everything, and then how he lied before about that kind of stuff, and how he even lied to Stephanie and everything to try and actually try and keep things safe between them and everything. So he told her about that. So then and then in the end, Stephanie is real. After all this time, Stephanie is real. I think she's super cute. Stephanie's super cute. She's actually really, really cute. As soon as she walked on screen, I was like, wow, she's cute. And I'm guessing she's also Stephanie. I'm guessing she she must also be Stephanie. So and I think or her walking on board and be like, is there anyone anyone here which one of you is Eugene Porter, with which one of you is Eugene, and then her be like, okay, yeah, I'm Stephanie, hi, nice to finally meet you. So Stephanie is in the Commonwealth, and I think honestly, right, I think years of watching this show has made me skeptical and cynical as well. So
I mean, the teensiest, the teensiest, tiniest part of me is ever so slightly worried that. I think I don't know. Is that even a theory? Is that even a theory worth bringing up at this point? I don't know. Because I feel like I don't know. I don't know what. So okay, so I was wondering maybe Stephanie could still be like a cover. Maybe Stephanie could be a decoy for a lover that the Commonwealth come up with. Maybe she wasn't even meant to be on the radio. Or maybe she was, but maybe just like under orders from the Commonwealth, actually get on the radio, lure some people in, actually see who you can find out there, and then we can bring them in later for questioning and actually do that kind of stuff. So so maybe that can happen. Because then the Commonwealth Army guys, like the Commonwealth Stormtroopers, they were waiting. Not only were they waiting, but they actually, I feel like they actively stayed in hiding too. They stayed in hiding, and then the lights came on, and then they came out. So it's like it's like, and it's like not just that, but then it was also a case of like, oh, they waited for the conversation between the characters to be over, which I mean honestly could just be plot convenience and everything, but still they waited for that conversation to be over, and then they switched on the lights and came in. So I think I'm wondering maybe like just like the slightest smallest of chances, maybe the Commonwealth could be using maybe the Commonwealth could still be using Stephanie, like maybe she herself even has no idea that she's being used like this, but maybe the Commonwealth is using Stephanie to lure people in and to actually see what they are, maybe using her for recruitment purposes too, so that could be a thing. But I think Stephanie, she's real. She's real. So Eugene has finally met Stephanie. He's finally met Stephanie. She's finally real. They can talk all the more about trains and ice cream and Iron Maiden and sing in person now. They can actually sing in person, so that's cool. So yeah, I think it's been too long. It's been too long since I've watched that finale with the actual radio thing. It's been too long since I've actually gone back to those episodes to actually even try and identify whether that's the same voice or not. But it sounds close enough. I think there was no noticeable difference. But I think even over radio, like a voice can easily sound distorted or robotic or static or something. So it can easily sound different in that sense. But I think for the most part, it definitely did sound recognizable. So yeah, so Stephanie is real, and her and Eugene are gonna have a grand old time connecting in a much more human and much more kind of close, kind of human way. So yeah, she is real. So now that they are going into orientation, so then after orientation they will presume. Orientation might just be actually giving them a tour of the Commonwealth and giving them a tour of the city and actually showing them around and giving them money that they might need and stuff to build up and everything. So yeah, so then I think hopefully that won't be the last we see of Mercer. Hopefully that we can see more of him down the line and actually see what more there is to him and the rest of the Commonwealth. So all in good time. But yeah, that was the Commonwealth stuff, and then yes, I think going forward we can see more of that. But then yeah, I think the ending easily took me out. The ending was like some creepy. I think the ending was some creepy kind of classic yet modern horror movie type stuff with like not even walker bodies, like not even dead, or like dead bodies, but not like decayed bodies, but not like walker bodies, like I think near fresh human corpses actually hung down like by the feet next to trees, and like literally like forming like almost like forming like a passage into Reaper Domain too, like that's the entrance to Reaper Domain. So that is easily some of the creepiest shit that this show has done in a long time. So that is why I'm all the more excited to actually go into this and see what more the show has to offer, and see what more the season has to offer in terms of that kind of content, and seeing how kind of brutal and seeing how kind of how creepy and terrifying the Reapers are, and how the group handles them, and how they can actually go up against them and everything. So that's going to be a fun and terrifying ride. So yeah, and then they've already lost the other guy with the out of the face. I think it was Cole to Cole. He actually, I think there was like a dagger or like a machete or something that actually was thrown at him. It was thrown at him, but then it went through his hand, severed his hand, but then was still going fast enough and with enough force that it still actually managed to lodge itself in his knee. So they managed to throw it hard enough and fast enough that it actually took off his hand, and then also managed to jam itself nicely within his knee too. So he literally had to be dragged away because his leg was in that much pain. So he lost his hand, and now
he's got a dagger sticking out of his leg too. So these guys are just weird. And I think even by that final shot definitely showed us like the same shot from the trailer with like wearing the masks and carrying all the weapons and everything. So these Reapers are about to purge. They are about to purge, but not in a way that cleanses their souls, but in a way where violence and murder and brutality empowers their souls. So purging for completely the wrong reasons. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be But that is pretty much all I have. That's pretty much all I got from this one. A very, very intense and very dramatic kind of episode. So very much looking forward to seeing how the characters all move on from here, and how we have Team 1 moving into Reaper, and like actually fighting back against the Reapers, and probably retreating from them too, and actually kind of dealing with them, and then maybe even actually kind of running into whatever it was that Maggie described, and seeing how they deal with that, and then Team 2 finally joining the Commonwealth and actually exploring that, and then Yumiko hopefully meeting her brother, and then Stephanie and Eugene hanging out and everything. So it should be fun. But that is pretty much all I've got from this one. So yeah, that was The Walking Dead Season 11 Episode number 2. So as always, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think, and what you thought of it, what you enjoyed, and what you're looking forward to in the next one, and what your theories are for the coming episodes of the season, how you kind of think the Reaper stuff and the other creepy crawly stuff and Commonwealth stuff is going to go, what you're looking forward to, any thoughts you have, leave them down below. Once again, the full-length reaction for this episode will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.